Welcome to Paranormal Files. Each week, we dive into the mysteries of ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, and everything in between. Join us on a journey into the unknown. Let's dive in. The Men in Black are some of the most compelling figures in the realm of the unexplained, weaving a thread of mystery and fear through the history of UFO sightings and paranormal encounters. While their image is familiar to many, suave figures in dark suits with an eerie, robotic demeanor, the origin of their legend dates back to the mid-20th century, when UFO sightings began capturing the public's imagination. Among the earliest accounts was that of Harold Dahl in 1947, who, after claiming to have seen mysterious flying objects near Maury Island in Washington, was reportedly visited by a strange man in a black suit. This figure warned him to keep quiet about what he had seen, allegedly hinting at dire consequences if he shared details of the sighting. This encounter set a precedent for countless other Men in Black sightings, with themes of intimidation, secrecy, and strange behavior forming the basis of many stories to come. Albert K. Bender's experience in 1953 is often cited as a major turning point in Men in Black lore. Bender was an early UFO enthusiast and founder of the International Flying Saucer Bureau, one of the first civilian groups dedicated to studying and reporting UFO sightings. Bender's commitment to uncovering the truth about UFOs made him a key figure in the burgeoning field. But his work came to an abrupt halt when he was visited by three men dressed in black suits who warned him to discontinue his research. Bender's encounter with these mysterious figures was unsettling, describing them as not entirely human, with glowing eyes and telepathic abilities. They urged him to abandon his UFO investigations, and Bender complied, shutting down his organization shortly afterward. Years later, he recounted his experience in his book Flying Saucers and the Three Men, describing the Men in Black as otherworldly enforcers rather than mere government agents. The 1960s saw a surge in Men in Black sightings, which seemed to coincide with increased interest in UFOs, particularly with high-profile cases like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction and the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. John Keel, a prominent journalist and paranormal researcher, documented many Men in Black encounters during this time, particularly around the Mothman sightings in 1966 and 1967. Residents who claimed to have seen the creature also reported intimidating visits from strange men in black suits who showed up at their homes, asking detailed questions and sometimes issuing veiled threats. In his book, The Mothman Prophecies, Keel noted the disturbing similarities between these encounters and other Men in Black sightings, suggesting that these visitors were somehow connected to UFO and paranormal phenomena. Witnesses reported these men as cold, emotionless, and even robotic, adding to the suspicion that they might not be human. Descriptions of the Men in Black share some common traits that set them apart from typical government agents. Witnesses often describe them as tall, thin men with unusually pale skin, sometimes even having an almost plastic or waxy appearance. Their expressions are minimal, and their movements can appear mechanical or robotic. Many accounts also note that these figures seem unaware of social norms or basic human customs, leading to awkward interactions that seem forced or staged. For instance, there are stories of Men in Black asking inappropriate or nonsensical questions, or displaying an almost comical misunderstanding of human emotions and behavior. Their speech is often described as monotone, almost as if they are reciting lines or speaking in an unfamiliar language. These unsettling details contribute to theories that the Men in Black may be extraterrestrial or interdimensional entities rather than government operatives, trying to mimic human behavior without fully understanding it. One particularly chilling Men in Black story comes from Dr. Herbert Hopkins, a hypnotist and UFO investigator in Maine, who in 1976 received a phone call from a man claiming to represent a UFO research organization. The man soon arrived at Hopkins' home, where he appeared dressed in a black suit with a disturbingly pale complexion, a bald head, and strikingly red lips. Hopkins described the visitor as speaking in a robotic manner, questioning him about his research and advising him to destroy any evidence related to his investigations. Hopkins felt a powerful sense of dread throughout the interaction, describing the man as almost lifeless. And after he left, Hopkins was left with a strong impression that he had encountered something unnatural. This encounter, among others, reinforced the eerie notion that the men in black might not only be interested in suppressing UFO knowledge, but may themselves be alien or supernatural entities. Theories about the true nature of the men in black vary widely, but some of the most intriguing ideas suggest that they are not human at all. Instead, many believe the men in black are extraterrestrial beings or interdimensional travelers tasked with maintaining secrecy around their own presence on Earth. This theory aligns with the description of men in black as being slightly off in appearance and behavior, as though they are attempting to blend in but can't fully grasp the subtleties of human interaction. Proponents of this idea point to the recurring theme of men in black using telepathy or other advanced mental abilities to manipulate witnesses, as well as their reported use of strange technology to erase memories or induce amnesia. The concept of alien agents covering up their own existence presents a chilling possibility that these figures are here to protect secrets far beyond the knowledge of humanity. The idea that the men in black might be paranormal rather than extraterrestrial is another theory that has gained traction, particularly among those who view them as spiritual or otherworldly beings rather than physical aliens. Some researchers propose that the men in black are akin to spirits or demonic entities, appearing whenever humans come close to uncovering forbidden knowledge or delving into the unknown. According to this view, they act as guardians or enforcers of supernatural secrets, discouraging witnesses and researchers from investigating certain phenomena. This interpretation of the men in black connects them to ancient archetypes like the Grim Reaper or the trickster, figures who guard the boundaries of human knowledge. For those who see them this way, the men in black represent not only secrecy, but the limits of human understanding, forces that appear when people tread too close to knowledge they are not meant to have. Though the men in black have become well-known icons thanks to pop culture, especially after the 1997 film Men in Black, which reimagined them as agents in a secret government organization monitoring extraterrestrial activity, the real-life encounters people describe are far darker and more intimidating. While the film depicted the men in black with humor and high-tech gadgets, the actual accounts from witnesses lack this levity and often leave people feeling profoundly disturbed. For many who have encountered them, the men in black are not merely enigmatic government agents, but unsettling, almost supernatural figures. Their presence in UFO lore serves as a reminder of the tension between knowledge and secrecy, fear and curiosity that exists whenever we explore the unknown. And while pop culture may have softened their image, the legends of the men in black remain powerful and haunting, as they continue to be a symbol of hidden knowledge and forbidden encounters in the world of the paranormal. Another layer of intrigue in the men in black phenomenon is the theory that these figures are not bound to a single country or organization, appearing in similar forms across different cultures and countries. Stories of dark-suited visitors intimidating UFO witnesses can be found worldwide, suggesting that their influence or purpose transcends Zen's national boundaries. In the United Kingdom, for instance, the men in black reportedly visited individuals following significant UFO sightings, such as those in the 1970s after the Rendlesham Forest incident. This case, often called Britain's Roswell, involved sightings of strange lights and craft near a military base. Witnesses and researchers who began investigating these events described visits from unusual, black-clad figures who asked unsettlingly precise questions about their experiences, leaving them feeling nervous and threatened. These figures, like those reported in the United States, displayed similar strange behaviors and physical characteristics, with pale skin and mechanical mannerisms. In addition to the UK, similar encounters have been reported in countries as varied as Canada, Norway, and even South Africa, all sharing familiar elements. Witnesses often recount a sense of dread or fear that accompanied these encounters, as though they were in the presence of something unnatural. In some of these global encounters, witnesses have reported that the men in black seemed to know personal details about them, including information that should not have been accessible, heightening the sense that these figures were no ordinary agents. The uniformity of these reports across countries raises questions about whether these figures are part of a secret global agency or something even more mysterious, possibly entities that exist beyond any human organization. For many who study the phenomenon, the men in black seem almost like mythic figures, similar to archetypes seen in ancient lore and folklore worldwide. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow provides an interesting lens through which to view the men in black. In Jungian psychology, the shadow represents the hidden or repressed parts of the human psyche, often manifesting as figures or symbols in dreams or myths. The men in black might be considered a modern version of this shadow, personifying humanity's deep-seated fears about secrecy, control, and the unknown. The recurring features, their dark attire, strange mannerisms, and lack of human warmth mirror traditional symbols of death or taboo knowledge. In this light, the men in black can be seen as contemporary Grim Reapers or supernatural messengers, confronting individuals who come too close to forbidden or otherworldly knowledge. Pop culture has played an essential role in popularizing the men in black, starting with the UFO craze in the 1950s and reaching its peak in the late 20th century. The 1997 film Men in Black, featuring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, introduced audiences to a lighthearted take on the concept. In the movie, the men in black are part of a secret government agency tasked with monitoring extraterrestrial life on Earth and protecting humanity from alien threats. However, while the film entertained millions and gave the men in black a modern, almost heroic image, it strayed from the darker and more sinister nature of the original accounts. Real-life men in black encounters, as described by witnesses, lack the humor and gadgetry of Hollywood's version, and instead evoke a sense of dread, silence, and intimidation. Despite their fictional portrayals, the real-life legends surrounding the men in black continue to captivate and unsettle people, particularly within UFO and paranormal communities. Over the decades, many witnesses and researchers who have reported encounters with the men in black describe a lasting fear or anxiety, as if these figures had left an indelible mark on their lives. For those who believe in the men in black, the figures represent more than just a mystery. They symbolize the limits of human knowledge, the presence of hidden forces, and a confrontation with the unknown. The allure of the men in black lies in their role as guardians of secrets, figures who operate beyond the law or human morality, enforcing silence and covering up truths that humanity may not be ready to face. Whether they are human agents, supernatural beings, or manifestations of our deepest fears, the men in black remain one of the most enduring and unsettling mysteries in paranormal history. A well-documented and eerie men in black encounter took place in 1976 with Dr. Herbert Hopkins, a hypnotist and UFO investigator from Maine. Hopkins was working on a case involving an alleged UFO sighting when he received a mysterious phone call from someone who claimed to be a representative of a UFO organization. The caller asked if he could visit Hopkins to discuss the case, and shortly after hanging up, a man in a black suit appeared at Hopkins's door. Hopkins noted the man's unsettling appearance. He was bald, with pale skin, no eyebrows, and bright red lips that looked almost painted on. The figure moved stiffly, spoke in a monotonous, almost mechanical tone, and displayed unnatural behavior, never blinking and maintaining an emotionless demeanor throughout the visit. During the conversation, this visitor questioned Hopkins about his UFO research and instructed him to destroy all the evidence he had collected on the case, strongly suggesting that he abandon his studies. Hopkins described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread throughout the encounter, as if he were in the presence of something not entirely human. After the man left, Hopkins felt as though he had been both physically and psychologically drained by the visit, and he complied with the order to destroy his research. This case is often cited as one of the most unsettling and inexplicable men in black encounters, reinforcing the notion that these figures are more than ordinary agents. Other encounters, like that of journalist Timothy Green Beckley, add to the mystery of the men in black. Beckley, a UFO investigator and writer active during the 1960s, claimed he was followed by strange men in dark suits as he researched UFO sightings. He described feeling constantly monitored, and on multiple occasions, these figures tried to intimidate him into stopping his work. In one particular incident, a mechanical-sounding man approached him with vague warnings, making clear that his investigations were being noticed. Like many other witnesses, Beckley described his visitors as lacking typical human expressions, with an unsettling presence that made him feel as if they were somehow out of place or performing a role they didn't fully understand. Some researchers suggest that the men in black represent a kind of archetype, a symbolic figure that appears across different times and cultures whenever society encounters the unknown. The famous psychologist Carl Jung might have linked the men in black to his concept of the shadow, an unconscious part of the psyche where repressed ideas and fears reside. According to Jung, societies as a whole have their own shadow, which often emerges as figures representing societal fears. By this interpretation, the men in black might embody humanity's fear of secrecy, control, and the supernatural, manifesting in response to mysteries that challenge our understanding of the world. They could represent humanity's own unease with delving too deeply into questions that threaten our sense of reality. Beyond their place in the paranormal world, the men in black have also embedded themselves into pop culture, notably through the 1997 film Men in Black. Though this adaptation of the Men in Black presented a fictional, lighthearted take on their role, depicting them as a government agency protecting Earth from alien threats, it popularized the concept and brought it into mainstream awareness. This depiction, however, diverged from the eerie, unsettling encounters described by witnesses, stripping the legend of its darker and more mysterious qualities. While the Hollywood version presented them as protectors of humanity, the real-life Men in Black encounters feel more ominous, with themes of intimidation, mystery, and silence. The Men in Black continue to be a source of fascination and fear, especially for those with an interest in the paranormal. Their presence serves as a chilling reminder of the possibility that forces beyond our understanding might exist, watching and controlling what we know. For many, the Men in Black embody the ultimate enigma, figures shrouded in secrecy, working to suppress knowledge that, according to them, humanity is not yet ready to handle. Whether agents, otherworldly beings, or expressions of our deepest fears, the Men in Black are symbols of the unknown and the lengths that hidden forces might go to keep their secrets out of reach. Thanks for listening to Paranormal Files. I'm your host, Zoe Parker. If you liked this episode, don't forget to follow and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Share this episode with your fellow paranormal enthusiasts, and be sure to connect with us on social media for behind-the-scenes content and exclusive updates. Join us next time for another exciting journey into the world of the paranormal. If you enjoyed this episode and want to dive even deeper into the world of the paranormal, consider subscribing for exclusive access to content you won't find anywhere else. As a subscriber, you'll get unreleased episodes too shocking or controversial for mainstream platforms, members-only bonus episodes, not available anywhere else, extended director's cut versions of your favorite paranormal investigations, early access to new episodes before they're released to the public, and much more. Thank you for your support. The link is in the description below. Join now.